Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2k1 bringing you a review of Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Ratchet. I really like Ratchet as a character. He's the quintessential war veteran. He's almost like a father figure to the rest of the Autobots, which is kind of weird considering that even Bumblebee, who is essentially accepted as the youngest of the Autobots, given the continuity of Transformers Prime, must be several tens of millions of years old. But Ratchet is actually even older than that. He's actually one of the few Transformers who actually remembers Cybertron during its golden age. That is, before the war between the Autobots and Decepticons. And here he is as an ambulance. Color-wise, it's red and white. It's kind of nice, except that in Transformers Prime, Ratchet is orange, not red. I guess under the right lighting conditions, this could be a vaguely orangey looking red, but it's pretty red. Paint app is simple but effective. The only thing missing is this line here. You know, the side of the ambulance is supposed to have like a pulse beat from a heart monitor. That's kind of Ratchet's look, and it's sort of missing. It's almost here in this panel line, but that's not quite the effect we're looking for. He is also incredibly tiny. He is one of the... This is a deluxe class figure, but he's just minuscule. Let's see how small he is. Remember, deluxe. Here he is, next to Drift. Look at that. You ever seen an ambulance this tiny? Now I know what you're thinking, but Drift is a Generations toy. Everybody knows that since the new Robots in Disguise line came out, the deluxes have been downsized just a little bit, which is fair enough. Here's Wheeljack. He's from the same line. These figures are from the same line. Not only is Ratchet shorter, he's also thinner, and his wheelbase is shorter. This is just undersized. He's actually about the size of a Power Core combiner, which is just a little bit bigger than a Scout. This is getting kind of ridiculous. As for weapon storage, in vehicle mode, you can store his swords underneath him. They're little square pegs, which this is translucent blue plastic, which is painted. So this entire thing is basically the window. And the accessory sword is actually really nicely well molded. It really looks like what Ratchet uses on the TV show. The only thing is, well, this is really, really gummy plastic. It's not... I would hesitate to even describe this as plastic. It's rubber. It's literally rubber. It's like somebody molded this thing out of melted down squinkies. Yes, squinkies. That is the kind of plastic quality we're dealing with here. And like Drift, you can have the ambulance mode wield the swords, which looks frankly stupid. It's also hard to push the hilts of the swords into these holes because the gummy rubber is so soft that it actually just kind of squishes and gets wider and won't fit. And that kind of looks like something out of Twisted Metal. I mean, if this thing was repainted to look like an ice cream truck, I'd be convinced that this is from Twisted Metal. He also has two screw holes on top of the cab, which the swords can mount in. I suppose maybe you could stick like a gun or a mech tech weapon in those two ports on top, but I don't know, with what he comes with, it's silly. Alright, so let's put the accessory swords to the side. And the ambulance, aside from a panel gap up here, it's pretty nice and solid, as long as you don't look at it from underneath. So let's transform him. Okay, I'm probably going to speed this up so as not to take too much time. Okay. Oh, one thing, this guy actually has latches. Like, you have to unlatch the bottom part of the ambulance in order to continue the transformation. Okay, back to speeding.
Ratchet's transformation is pretty interesting. There's a lot of fiddling you have to do around the legs. Those two giant panels that make up the front of the vehicle, they're on some kind of double hinged mechanism that moves into place, and because those pieces are so big in one chunk, it can be hard to see where that movement is. So they can be a little bit hard to peg into place. But once they're done, the rest of the figure comes together super fast. Everything practically falls right into place.
Alright, and the last step is a very nice automorph head reveal. And then this piece pegs on very nicely, making a very smooth and concise backpack. So, oh man, I just keep on hitting my own tripod with my knee. And that is Ratchet's robot mode. Alright, so his robot mode is just fantastic. This is a really, really great representation of Ratchet. It looks so much like him, and it just has wonderful articulation. There's a ball joint up here in his shoulders, along with an extra hinge here, which effectively gives him a nice double-jointed elbow. Looks perfectly natural in that pose. He has a bicep swivel just where he needs it. His ankles do not rotate, but they do go back like this, which actually makes for the most natural weapon wielding I've seen in the line so far. You see, you put the sword in his hand like this, and then you fold the hand in, and it looks exactly like how Ratchet actually wields his weapons in the show. Why they would do this for Ratchet, who's only had 2 episodes where he even fought, instead of, say, anyone else, I have no idea. But, you know, it's good to see that Hasbro finally got the look right when these guys are wielding their weapons. He has excellent hips, nice ball joint with a thigh swivel. His knees are somewhat limited because of all that gigantic stuff on his shin, and his feet, they don't articulate except up and down, but they are, if you look, they're kind of on a natural angle, so when his feet are flat, his legs are slightly apart, which gives him a nice natural looking stance, which is well appreciated. He also has a waist joint. I mean, it's kind of limited, but it moves about as far as a human waist does. And I was thinking that we weren't going to be able to see waist joints anymore after seeing Wheeljack and RC not get them. I'm like, wow! And that has nothing to do with transformation. It's a waist joint that they put in just because they wanted their figure to have a waist joint. Okay, so let me get another robot out for size comparison's sake. So, with Wheeljack standing next to him, we can see that pseudo mass shifting that we saw with the first edition's RC and Starscream actually seems to be in full play here, as, not counting the little wingtips, he's actually just a little bit taller than Wheeljack. Considering his ambulance mode was so tiny, this is a shockingly large robot mode. So in robot mode at least, he will scale perfectly with your other PRID Deluxes. I'm going to be saying PRID for Prime R-I-D, you know, PRID, to distinguish it from the previous Robots in Disguise line. And I'm being a hipster here. And I didn't mention head articulation. It's a little limited because it's so deeply in the collar, but it's good. It's at least as good as Wheeljack's. They have about the same amount. So yeah, these are two really. I mean, Wheeljack was previously my favorite from this line so far, because the engineering and look are just so fantastic on him. But I think Ratchet's up there. I'm not sure if he beats him because his vehicle mode is so small, but he definitely is a contender. He's really awesome. If you don't have a Ratchet in your collection, or you know what, even if you do have a Ratchet, sell him and get this one because this one's awesome. Well, maybe not animated Ratchet. I like animated Ratchet, but yeah, this guy is great. He deserves total love from you, and he asks for nothing in return. His spring-loaded automorph head reveal. Normally I'm not a big fan of spring-loaded gimmicks that automorph, but it's utilized absolutely perfectly on this guy. I mean, there's no huge mechanism getting in the way to make it happen. Once it happens, the head is not restricted by it. It's as free as any other head, and you can kind of do a funny Ninja Turtles thing. I love being a turtle! I like turtles! Woo! Thank goodness for retractable heads. So, yeah, that's Ratchet from Transformers Prime Robot in Disguise. If he is not part of your Transformers collection, then make him part of your Transformers collection, because he is just that unbelievably awesome. This is Toy Customizer Wakeangel2k1 signing out.